pause for a moment. This isn't just another message passing by your screen. This is something deeper, something you were meant to come across. Listen closely, because what you keep brushing aside is not small, and it's not something that will fix itself over time. You've been asking for a relationship that lasts. You've prayed for peace, for stability, for something real, something that won't leave you broken. And those prayers were heard. Nothing you said went unnoticed. But now there's something you need to understand clearly. A relationship cannot be blessed when the warnings around it are being ignored. You already feel it. That quiet discomfort. That moment when everything seems fine on the outside, but something inside you just doesn't sit right. You've felt it more than once. You've seen things that didn't align. You've noticed patterns that didn't change. You've heard words that sounded good, but never turned into action. And still, you stayed. Still, you convinced yourself it would get better. Still, you told yourself to wait a little longer. Listen carefully. You've already been shown everything you need to know. Every sign was clear. Every moment of doubt had a reason. Every time your peace left, it wasn't random. But you kept pushing past it. You kept ignoring it. You kept choosing to stay connected to something that is slowly pulling you away from what matters most. This relationship isn't bringing you closer to me. It's distracting you from me. Think about it. You don't spend time the way you used to. You don't seek me the way you once did. Your focus has shifted. Your energy has shifted. And deep down, you know it. So don't ignore the signs. Hold on to this moment. Don't brush this off like everything else. There's a reason this keeps coming up. There's a reason you keep feeling unsettled. Because what you're in right now requires your attention, not your denial. You can't keep avoiding what needs to be addressed. You can't keep overlooking what keeps repeating. You can't keep hoping something will change when nothing is actually changing. There are conversations you've been avoiding. There are truths you've been trying not to face. There are patterns you've been excusing. And every time you ignore them, the foundation weakens. This isn't about fear. This is about truth. Because love that is real doesn't constantly leave you confused. It doesn't keep you in a place of uncertainty. It doesn't drain you while promising to fulfill you. At some point, you have to stop and ask yourself, why am I holding on to something that keeps pulling me away from peace? Why am I protecting something that isn't protecting me? Why am I staying where I keep losing myself? You're not stuck, you're not trapped, you're not without options, but you are delaying a decision that needs to be made, and this is where everything becomes clear. If you continue to ignore what's being shown to you, if you keep pushing past every sign, if you keep choosing comfort over truth, this relationship will fall apart. Not suddenly, not out of nowhere, but slowly, over time. Because anything built on what's ignored cannot stand. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to wake you up. There is still time to correct things. There is still time to address what needs to be addressed. There is still time to choose differently. But that requires honesty, real honesty. Not pretending everything is fine, not covering up what hurts, not ignoring what keeps repeating. It requires you to face what you've been avoiding, to speak what you've been holding in, to walk away from what you know isn't right, or to fix what you've allowed to go unchecked. Because growth only happens when truth is faced. Healing only happens when something is confronted, and restoration only happens when something is aligned. Right now, this is your moment. Not to scroll, not to ignore, not to delay again, but to actually do something. Pay attention to what you've been feeling. Pay attention to what you've been seeing. Pay attention to what keeps repeating, because none of it is random. And hear this clearly. If you continue to ignore this warning, things will fall apart. Not because they were meant to fail, but because what needed to be addressed was left untouched. You still have a choice. You still have time. But you cannot keep going the same way and expect a different outcome. So take this seriously. Don't brush it off. Don't silence it. Don't ignore it. Because later on, you'll realize this wasn't just a message, it was direction. It was clarity. It was the moment everything could have changed. If this spoke to you, stay connected, subscribe and keep growing.